Ah, finally we are live. Here we are. Oh, hello everyone. Welcome to our second round today.
Hello everyone!
Good.
Welcome to another live coding for our recipe app.
Yeah.
How are you doing, guys?
Already our 6 meetings or something. So 6th time we are
So
working already on that Flutter project.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's getting now better and better and better. And now we have already Hive implemented, right? So
This database, we have live Hive in place.
yeah, so we can finally save our categories, a new category. Today I have a lot of plans, so let's see if Mahtab can challenge that all. I have really a lot of big topics that I provided already. You can find them. I created a document for that down in the video description on the Flutter docs. I told that this morning already.
Oh yeah, okay.
We have like a document now for I think every stream or so, where we just put everything inside, which is the topic. So for example, we have now recipe app, right? So we want to get the different requirements inside of it, explain shortly what it is, and now everyone can just take a look into the document, write his own comments. So if someone has a good idea, maybe we can show that also.
Okay, right, just a question. Is the intermission this?
Yeah, I switch right now.
So low live screen, I think.
What I have done is here the recipe app requirements.
Amazing, yeah.
And here we would like to have the next steps. So if you want to have a specific step in mind, you can just jump inside of it and add the step here, and we can work on that further. And the great thing is with that documents, I saw this morning, it works fantastic. The people are starting to write inside. We can directly update the stuff, or we can also say we don't want to have that comment.
Okay,
can also write inside. We can discuss different stuff. So if you start to select something, you can add a comment down here, and with that we have the possibility to be more active together, right? Because
the communication gonna be much more easier.
Exactly, and I think all that stuff is also interesting for you, and so we can really create a perfect you wrote MobX, but that was for the other stream. Now we want to tackle our recipe app, and we have already our stuff. So yeah, Flutterist was there very active already in the other document.
So it's really nice.
Yeah,
amazing.
I think it's a cool idea, and we come further with that. All right.
Perfect.
So what have we done the last time? Sorry.
This is a good question, Max. You did a lot.
Yeah.
You was a driver last time, so let's see. Let's jump back to our app and tell us, what did you implement last time?
Okay, can I show you?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So the last time we had the offer that I can implement this add categories section here. It looks not like much, but we can click on it. We can enter a category name. We update the image if we upload an image. I think that was also in place, right? So we can select an image and we can change the category name. And if we submit the name now, we can see we create really a new category.
Perfect.
Yeah. Additionally, we took another look on the styling with the border and everything. But now that we can now create a category, the next step would be
delete this category.
Exactly, so that we have everything in place and can work right now with that. Another thing that we would have to do in the future is we want to add a recipe, and for that we have to create a connection between the category and the recipe.
So which means every time when we create a new recipe, we want to add it to a new or to our category.
Yes.
So at the end, we have in our category a list of different recipes.
In the best case, yes.
In the best
exactly.
case. This is a future plan. So, amazing. As Max told, what we want to do is to delete a category. And I would say, okay, so we have something like, I think, a gesture detector. So let's see if I can work again. Keyboard, Windows keyboard. Perfect. So let's see what's going on. I like to close everything always. We are in the dashboard screen. Here, when I go back to dashboard. And I would say we should have something for each category that we can see here. We should have something like a gesture detector. I think this is the right one, so I will close just the window that we have at the other side. And here we have a waveboard and the category name, and everything else. So I think this is actually the right place. As far as I know, we should have that. We should have a method in our gesture detector, something like a long press or something. Oh, unlong press. What do you think, Max? Is it the right method that we can use for our
so
delete?
Exactly. I think we can really use the online. What happened? You shouldn't use the Windows key. You have to use the Alt key. But now you have to select again.
Yeah.
The default struggle with our. You have to click there. Ah, perfect. And now you can.
Here, I want just to.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay. So this one and this.
Nope.
No.
They're close.
Almost there. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
We really have to get rid of that
8
Windows
and 9,
keyboard.
then again.
Okay.
So I would say when the user will press on one of these category and place it for a long time, maybe the user should see something like a box or something, alert box.
An alert box, yeah, I think that would be a good option because we have here a destructive operation. We want to delete something from our database. We want to get like a shield in front of our users that they don't accidentally delete it and don't know exactly what they have done.
So something like an alert that the user can say, hey, you can now delete the category.
Yeah.
You can approve it or you can delete it or cancel it, something like that.
Yeah.
So for that, I would say I want to go back to Max, right?
Yes, just if you want to navigate easier, and if I'm telling you, you can just click inside and control and left and right, and then you can navigate through the. That helped me. And Flutterist, I was in New Zealand when I created that video from yesterday. That was the video that we replaced now. That was more or less the old introduction video to this YouTube channel. And the first time when I created a video was last year in June, I think, something like that. And there I was in New Zealand and started with the whole thing. Okay, so
what's the question?
He asked if we are in Germany because yesterday the video, you know, the first one when you was the regisseur, and I sit on the couch and say, "Hey everyone, and welcome to
the first intro for our channel."
Yeah.
Okay, so which means what I can imagine is something like that. So I just play it and something like that. When the user click on this button, that he can see the chat box.
Okay.
And
there would be something like, do you really want? Oops, sorry. Do you really want to delete the category? Yes or no, or cancel maybe?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's see how it's implemented here. Oops. Here we go. So we will have a show dialog. And after that, instead of that, we will have an alert. Have a context and the barrier. This user must tap button. Oh, okay. So
animated alert box package. Good question. I know that there is, and we can. I think the animation would be an option there. The animation package, because it has like something built in where you can open up a box that you put something inside and close it again. And an alternative would be the R alert box. I think that is also a package that you can find. Let me check if I find them, then I can also share them with you.
So I need 3 parameters for show dialog. The first one is the context. Oops. Oh. So we need context. Second one is the barrier dismissible. The I think with barrier dismissal, I will make it possible that the user clicks somewhere else on the
gray area, right?
On the gray area, and the dialog will be closed. So if we have here, it should come up.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for this parameter that I can set it to wrong and false, so that I can explain what does it do.
Okay.
I know what does it do, but I wanted to see again to be sure.
What is the name of that property?
See?
Barrier
dismissible.
So if you go back to the documentation, you find down here the properties.
The properties.
And there needs to be somewhere this barrier dismissible. But I
don't know why.
Ah, interesting. Okay. So
this is not a method though. It's actually
I can't tell you that, but I think it should be a property. Okay. So interesting. It's not part of it. No. Okay, so maybe there is a lack of this documentation.
Yeah, but anyway, I think we can just try it here.
Yeah.
So, first one is a context, the second one is a barrier dismissible, and the last one is builder that we. So here we go. It will get text. And now we will run here and alert dialog. Take care. I'm going
sure, I can take the question.
Dialog.
So, Wenood, yeah, sure. The Jingle community program is for every skill level. We have there three projects prepared. I think in the video we also described that. The first level is for basic UI stuff, where you just create in 1 month a whole front end, where you just create the user interface for your mobile device. In the second level, you will get also the opportunity to work with an API to receive data from another server. And in the third level, you really create a full stack application where you talk with the Flutter, where you make the REST calls, and at the end have your own API created. So that is the idea of the Jingu, so that we get all the different levels and we can talk about that stuff. And whenever you have questions, you can ask them in the Jingle community, and even you don't have to use Flutter necessarily, only if you want to. So, but we will concentrate, of course, on the Flutter community there in that place. So, and there is also this.
So I use a single child scroll view, and after that we will have a list body, which is also a widget, and inside of that we have a list of different widgets. Oh, sorry, just
sorry, background. No worries, Flutterist, no worries.
It's a
no, he has something with the background.
We can also change the background color.
Can we?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have here a list body. Have children. Now I can, for example, different text, for example. What does the user want to read?
With an A. It would be good that the button tells us what it does. So
yeah, okay.
It is delete.
Button. And if the user doesn't want to delete it,
you don't have to write everything. I think it is absolutely clear that if you click on delete, you delete it, and I think you even don't need really the text here, but that's all right. Okay, so we have a list body. What is a list body? What can I understand from that? Take your time.
Here.
So what is the list body?
We have the single child scroll view in here on top of our documentation mentioned, because we have certain amount of place, so that we can fit everything in this box. We can use the single child view, if I understand it right.
Okay.
If the content is too large to fit on the screen vertically, the dialog will display the title and the actions and let the content overflow. overflow, which is rarely desired. Consider using a scrolling widget for content, such as a single child scroll view, to avoid overflow.
Okay, so I understood that the single child scroll view is like in the middle part, so we can scroll inside in the worst case if we have too much content.
Yeah.
But how is it working with the list buddy? What is the list buddy? I've never seen that widget.
To be honest, I'll say that. Create a layout widget that arranges the children sequentially along a given axis. So we can order everything in vertical.
Okay.
Vertical way.
Interesting. So it's kind of a column at the end?
It's kind of color. Let's jump into it and see. That's good. Create a layout widget that arranges children along a given axis. By default is the vertical.
Okay, interesting.
So the question is now, what's the difference between this one and column?
That was just a question.
Yeah,
most
I know.
likely because of the buttons.
I actually use it because we have here as example. So
yeah, but that's all right. Let's keep it for now. So we have that possibility to give 2 elements.
Yeah,
maybe
and
we
after that we can have also actions, a list of action, which we can use for our different buttons. So this is this one, and here.
The keyboard is really hard, right?
So we will have. Oh, I think I can.
In the meantime, I can send to Flutterist the answer for his question. I added it also in the document so that you can find it there. Yeah. But I think these packages are all useful for. But that's unlucky why they got cut off. Anyhow, but in the document you will find the. So here in the document, you will find on the bottom the different links to the different packages that I can recommend you for the Flutter alerts. So it's the animation one that you can use whenever you want to have a specific animation. The dialog, which opens up a dialog very nicely. They have a very cool API, which I like. And our Flutter alert, which has like a wrapper around that whole alert part, which is also pretty cool. And don't worry, I'm Mahtab at the moment.
So I thought actually the list of actions that we have is from body, but I was wrong.
Okay.
This is actually from our...
From the alert dialog,
from the alert dialog, exactly. So we'll have this one, and after that we will unpress. So it's gonna be again go back. Okay, and now what we want to do here is we want to delete
what you can do
category.
Is maybe add here a to-do itself so that we can keep that in mind, and just show us the dialog first that we know how it looks like.
How does it work? Okay.
We will manage it that you write that name category this evening completely out of the head without any thinking.
And we will have another flat button, which I would like to have, and text with cancel.
Okay.
Oops. And here what we want to do is we want to go for the unpress method. This callback. I would like to
just write the to-do first before you write, because we want to see first how the result is before you start to finish off everything.
Right. Yeah. Here we go.
Okay. So let's see how it.
And now let's see. So here we have our categories, and now when I click and press it for a long time, maybe I need a hot reload.
Could be. So Mahtab is not using VS Code because she don't feel comfortable with it. So I'm happy that she uses Android Studio.
I like it more. I don't know. I think it's a taste.
Yeah. Oh, it's also some heavy usage behind, but it makes sense if you can work with it easier. That's important.
Yeah. Here we go. So if I click or tap on the category and press it for a long time,
Mhm.
we will see this dialog alert.
Cool.
So delete dialog, you can delete this category to delete the actually I wrote.
Yeah,
To
I
delete
think so
this
too.
category, click the delete button.
Can we swap the buttons? The buttons that
Yes.
delete is on the right side. And also, I think it would be better to have instead a red button, right? Because delete is a very bad
Yeah.
thing if you do it on something important. So it should be really point out to us that is a delete here. It's getting
Something
worse. And
Okay.
if we
here
would be
go.
in an RTL, I would even keep it like that the delete button is on the left. But we are on the LTR, text reading, right? So the direction
okay.
should be always the opposite side.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. At least this is what I recommend from the European and American people. I think
Okay.
they would get read.
So, do you want to have the title just in red, or do you want to have this button in red?
What I can-
should we do?
What I can imagine is really to have a very thick button in red with a white font on
Yeah.
it, just to make sure that the people don't click it accidentally. That is really something, okay, if you press that, you really take action. Something happens here.
So I want to just have any other. Here we have color. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
We have colors, color, X.
Okay, FF. So we have RGB, right?
Yeah.
So the first thing is R. We want to have it red, so FF would be it. And the rest should...
right, huh?
No, F means for 255.
Yeah,
So
okay.
FF means 255. And after that, G and B, green and blue, should be 0. So we
okay.
say 4 times 0. So, and with that, we get the red color.
Okay.
It's always
Fair enough.
interesting to know if you want to work with hex.
Yeah.
So at the end, this F here is just standing for
Here
255.
we go.
Exactly.
It's like so good.
Long time's experience.
Yeah. Perfect. So we have here the color, and I would say actually I wrote too much text. So here, but I think we should maybe.
First, I want to see the color.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So I will show you the color.
Mm-hmm. But I really like our design. It somehow is very nice.
Here we go. Cancer.
So that
it's
is
the wrong one. So here we go. Oops.
Uh-huh.
Other one is yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. And now I just
Okay.
here we have the delete, and now with this barrier parameter that we have, and I set it to true, if I click somewhere else, it will be closed.
Okay.
And if we set it false,
Mm-hmm.
and I click it, now
Okay, so
it
you
doesn't
are.
answer, it doesn't
Mhm.
close
So
anymore.
you have to use the cancel button, right?
I have to use a cancel button. I think it's more convenient if we just set it to true so that user can close it as soon as it needs.
Yeah. Unfortunately, because we leave the context, I think, and so we have to recreate that in that part. So
Or I don't need, maybe I should just close it after the.
can we adjust borders? Borders of what? Of the alert? I think that is the big problem with the alert from Flutter at the moment. So if we use the default, we can't, or we don't have so many opportunities to do so.
Okay.
Or you had a look into the alert box. Do you
no,
know
what
something
was the
about?
question? I haven't asked.
Okay, so if you from the alert dialog, is it possible to customize the borders so that it looks maybe the border has a shadow or something like that?
I know that we can do some content, but to
Okay.
be honest, no. The
So let's try it.
best answer is background color button heading, content heading.
Can you search for, or can you enter border just?
Yeah.
No, okay, so
No,
there's
we don't have, but I can shape.
Okay, then we have a circle or something.
Yeah.
But it will not help us, I think. The alert dialog will not be that customizable at the moment. So
if we want to do that, if we want to customize everything, I think there is another widget which is just Dialog.
or which is just Dialog.
Just Dialog, and we can, I think, customize everything ourselves.
Can you search for it?
Yeah, let's have. Yeah. Dialog. Flutter. Dialog class. I think child of alert dialog can any widget. Yes.
That is true, but you want to change the border of the dialog itself and not of the container of the dialog, or?
So the alert dialog, I think, is the container which we have, and inside of that we have. So I think the container is the alert dialog, and inside of that we have a different widget. But if I understand it right, we want to see if we can have a border here around our box, right?
Yeah, but I think what Abby mentioned is we could create a container inside, so we would surround our list body, for example, with a container and give that a border. But I don't know how this will look.
Try wrapping the list body in a... okay. Ooh, guys,
I just have the thinking of that we can't, for example, have round borders or have some funky... I could even imagine that there is a default padding in the alert dialog.
Okay.
That could give us some headache in that area, but let's have a look.
So let's have a look here. If I have here box decoration for
the border is border box, or is it just border? I'm not sure. Yeah, I think Mirko is right. I think that what you mentioned, that we have to use a dialog widget if we want to have round borders and all that stuff, because I think inside we can just change the inside of the element. We can't access the part.
Now I'm too stupid.
How do we identify what we have to pass in? Yeah. I think you can just use the border. And then border.all or something? Or something like that. Yeah, it's also possible.
Yeah, okay.
But it's way too complicated. I think you can just say border all and then give a radius. Radius, where are we? But passing the color and everything inside.
Yeah, we have.
So just give color green for now. Or color.green.
That's the right.
Not the right one, but it is
For
one.
us, it's the right one.
And I think you have to hit hot refresh, hot
I
reload.
don't think so.
You don't think so?
No,
no.
here we go.
Okay, but as you can see, it is just the container inside. It is not the surroundings of the border. So I think Mirko's answer is most likely the right one. We would have to switch the alert dialog with the normal dialog.
Yeah. And I think I wrote also something
But
here.
Mirko says now that, it has the shape property, but it will only be between the two shapes, like circle and rectangle, or we will not have the chance to change the color of the border, for example, or the color of the border radius, or...
What does have a shape property? Dialog or what?
Sorry, what?
What does have the shape property? Which...
The alert dialog.
Alert dialog has a property which is...
Shape.
Okay, so let's look. Ah, yeah, okay, this is what I found. Shape border.
Is it shape border? I think shape border is again abstract. I think you need to do something like a rectangle border or outline border or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
So
do you want to do that?
We can try it, yeah.
Right.
The best thing is, I think, if you just jump into the shape.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a shape border, okay.
It's a shape border and...
Okay, and if you jump into shape border, what do you find? Immutable, shape decoration, okay. Show a shape, okay. But here are the rectangles borders up there. Rounded rectangle border, continuous.
Rounded rectangle.
So we can use that. Exactly.
Now we
Okay, so we can set the border radius. Okay, that's fantastic.
or border size. Okay.
And now we can set the border.
Color.
Okay.
Colors. I will try to write it right. And now we have green. Save it now. I
see it. I see it actually.
You can see that?
Yeah, but I think you can make it thicker up there in the border side.
Let me delete the container. Like that. No.
And remove the whole thing.
Widget.
Yep.
I'll save. And what
can
I want to do is
increase the size.
Yeah. Width maybe.
Yep. Just like 10 or something, so that it's really obvious what happens. So it is really a border. So and with that we could have that. So the shape is the shape is the goal, and that's fantastic. I didn't know that. Thank you, Milko.
I didn't know either.
Yeah. So that means whenever something has a shape, we can nearly adjust nearly everything, right? Because like Flutterist is saying, we can also change the radius and everything.
What's our streams today? Great.
Yeah. Welcome back, coding guy. Nice to see you around.
To be honest, I thought the border and everything else is gonna be in the box decoration.
I also thought that, but maybe the shape contains all the information of that. So maybe only the important things.
But Max, that means actually maybe we can use our decoration that we have already for here. You know that we create a constant out of them, this border thingy. So.
But this is...
Can we use this one? No, this is the
I don't
decoration.
think so. Yeah, because it's a decoration, and also because we don't want that the dialogue looks exactly the same. But what I would suggest is just keep it plain for now. Maybe make it a border radius, that it's not that boring.
Yeah.
So...
Border size, I think 10 is too much.
I would remove the border size. Yeah, because I think we just want to have the rounded rectangle border with a border radius.
Border radius all in go.
Yep. And then the radius.
Oh. Close the border again.
Or we really have to do something.
We have to change this transition. It's so annoying. But now, if you guys can see, I will make it a little bit bigger. So we have this little round border.
Do you hear that? We look zen today because we found our inner center. I think it's because Mahtab slept till now, and right?
Yeah.
We're just here for you with the zen. Oh, but that looks fantastic, right? So we have a light border, we have a light shadow, and Milko has just subscribed. Amazing. And
nothing better can happen.
Yeah.
And I think, if I'm not wrong, the dialogue had also some elevation.
Yeah. Okay.
We can change the elevation, I think. I don't know if we want, but
we should increase the circular radius to 20. Because Flutterist is asking for it, so we are happy with that.
20?
Yeah,
really?
He wants to have it full with 205. Alright.
Almost.
So, and Milko is asking which state management tool we use. Actually, we are using whatever is best, or whatever we coming... No, I should make that correct. So whatever is the community as like. So this morning, for example, we used Riverpod. There we changed like an old application from us to a Riverpod change or possibility. And today in this episode we still use Provider, I think. The good old one, which also works fine. So that's super round.
Just super round. And now maybe I need a little bit more padding here on the right side. Saturn.
My personal preferred state management tool. Well, I really like Riverpod. I use that a lot now. I really liked Qubit when I worked with it. It's also very fine, especially with the state management, that you can just derive the state, and it's very lightweight. I really like that. For a bigger project, when I really want to have multiple states or something like that, I'm a big fan of one store that contains all the data. So it is, I think, Redux at the moment that I really prefer from all of them. But it highly depends on what I want to achieve. For a lightweight solution, I would go for Riverpod or Qubit at the moment. And yes, exactly, today they merged together. There is a big release. Yeah, I love that. It was a bit inconvenient because I created a video for that, and now it's like, yeah, you have to take block and I have to update the video already, but that's no problem there. But for Qubit, I really like that to work with, and it's super easy. So, yeah. It's already deprecated, yeah, 2 weeks ago. It's like, this is Flutter, right?
So the other thing that I would love to do is have here something.
We have actions padding, button padding, content padding, insert padding,
Isn't
title
right?
padding. We have so many
paddings.
paddings.
The best thing is that I know what I should.
Never forgot.
No, I think I can use the symmetric and go for horizontal. Go for like 5.
Okay.
See.
I saw today a tweet that was asking us how deep is your widget, and I really like that we have like this space. Nobody can see, but we have this space on on widget stuff.
Perfect. So does it change? To be honest, I didn't.
Yeah, with 5 it's always hard, but I think it changed.
I'm going to fix. Yes. So
the deprecation playlist, that's a good idea. I add an add deprecated on top of it so that everyone who reads the documentation knows what's it. But it's not deprecated, right? Because if you use block, you can use the Qubit exactly the same like in the video description. It is just that the package itself is not existent anymore. And I think Felix did that change because he can now streamline his development on the block package with the Qubit package. So he can do both and the pipeline don't change and so on and so forth. So, yeah. Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you guys.
I'm sorry. I have so many friends now.
Yeah, I know. And I wrote here two sentences, and what I'm thinking is, in the future, it's not still implemented, but if the user delete a category, if the user will delete a category, all the recipes which belong to this category will be also deleted or not? At
the moment they would, I think.
They
because
would.
As soon as we delete the category, which does at the moment not even consist any recipes, we would delete them. How we do that in the future, a good question. I think at the moment just delete them.
Okay, so I want us to write here something like that. Be sure that you want to delete it, or I can actually.
But what you can do, and this makes more sense, is to add a to-do on top of it, like a reminder that this, not in the text, I think that's not clean. I would add that to the delete button itself, so that we have to make sure later that we delete the whole recipes with it. So if we delete a category, make sure that you are aware that you delete all the recipes at the moment.
Okay.
Something like that. So that really, this is the worst thing that you can do, deleting a whole category.
Delete a category with all recipes.
Create a second to do, because we will have that in the future. We will not make that today, but as soon as we have the possibility to change it, we will do. I think that will happen anyway, so that's not really a to-do. It's more to make sure that this is the wanted behavior. It's like a reminder for us in the future.
Am I? Be sure.
Okay.
If it.
Why don't you close down the emulator while you are not working with it? I think that's the easiest thing.
I can do it actually. Okay.
Would you guys make a UI series? Good practices, tips and tricks. I would love to. I really would love to. The problem is at the moment we have like a lot of
So
topics
many
in the future.
topics and projects.
It's like I would make now, or what I decided is now all 2 weeks, I will give you one day where I propose some topics. So for example, the good practices and so on. And in the YouTube community tab, and then you have the possibility to vote for them. So you can vote for the right one, and I will work on this topic then for you guys. I think.
Max, nevertheless, please add this subject to
Oh
our,
yeah, absolutely.
our list.
Sure.
Perfect. So,
can I? Yeah, sure. I think you have that somewhere. Right?
so guys, are you all? I think we are now satisfied actually with our dialogue.
You are satisfied? We
No?
are never satisfied.
Ah, come on, Max. This is good enough for now. So
Okay.
I would like to bring some
Features,
functionality
alright.
feature in.
Fantastic. So delete a
We
category.
already have a lot on the Google Docs.
Oh, you do? Jeez, I have to take a look into. Okay, maybe it doesn't update for me.
Okay, so we have 2 buttons here. First one is cancel, and the second one is a delete.
Oh,
would
maybe I
say
can't see that.
I
Sorry, can you switch one moment to the docs that we created? Yep, to the recipe lab docs. So this is the stuff that you added, or I added seconds ago. And so you can click on that accept button, for example. So now it's inside of the document, and everyone who's interested can find that.
Guys, did you add something?
I mean,
we added a lot in the other.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, okay.
We have a lot of stuff there already, but this is. I always distinguish between videos and streams. If I make a stream, that's always a little bit different because, yeah, they usually are a bit more open. We can talk about different stuff. So if you ask a question, I can directly jump into it, like I really often do. I'm sorry, Mahtab. So Mahtab is always very okay. Let's fix that problem now. I don't want to work.
Concentrate. Let's bring it to the end.
Hey, Rakshit, nice to see you.
Hey guys.
Okay, so delete.
Really? Honestly, this is amazing. So we have 2 buttons, so we need one to cancel and delete. I would say I start with the simple one, which is a cancel button.
Okay.
So
how can we dismiss an alert box?
Close the dialog. I would say.
You really knew that out of your head?
No, because to be honest, let's tell you the truth. At the beginning, I searched here, last time as I use it, I searched here for something like close dialog or something like that as method. So here we have different methods in the alert dialog.
Okay.
Create element, debug, describe child, children, and so forth and so forth. But I couldn't find any close dialog or something.
Okay, so it's not part of the documentation yet.
I don't know why. Maybe we can search for that. Close.
Flutterist gave you already the right answer, but have you searched for visibility widget? Visibility widget? Why should we search for it? It's just to hide and show something.
Oh, how to dismiss. And here is the again navigator.pop. So I would say there's no special method for dialog.
That's fantastic. Yep. So you did already that. So you popped the dialog. The only question is, or what I think it should be part of the documentation also, that you can use that navigator.pop, and I think that is also in show modal dialog, for example. The show modal bottom sheet is the name, I think. That has it inside of the documentation that you can navigator.pop returns and gives you back. Yeah,
but here we don't have.
Yeah, but Mirko is right. It is the dialog is just on our navigation stack on top of it.
So for that, I will just. I don't know. I did.
Yeah. So the visibility widget is fantastic. I think you can also wrap it in another widget. For example, there is like that widget that prevents you from tapping on stuff.
Okay.
I don't know the name anymore. Philip was announcing that once. And the cool thing is you can take a visibility widget and couple that with that other one that you can't tap. And the idea is when you come below a certain point of visibility of that widget, whatever you use, you can't click it anymore. So you have combined it automatically. It's fantastic. It's such a good idea.
So it will prevent to tap on some button without that you want to do?
Exactly. So on the top of everything.
Okay.
And Arvin,
So
you missed so
pointer,
many
the widget.
stuff. The shimmer effect, I think we made the shimmer effect 2 videos ago or something.
Yeah, 2 session before.
Yeah, so sorry.
But you can watch the stream again if you
the
are
whole
interested.
stream just to add the shimmer. But I would recommend you to skip a bit, because I think the first hour or something we just search for how can we do that, what should we do, why does it not work.
So now with the cancel button.
And Mirko is right, the
Perfect.
absorb pointer widget it is.
So we can maybe, after we delete our category, after that we can maybe have a look in the
Oh, Arvin does the Angular use course, so then we have all 3 the same certificate. Really good.
Yeah,
It's a really good course. I really enjoyed it. It's a bit sad that she doesn't tackle the testing.
Angular course. What?
Now Angular use.
Angela U. Okay.
The boot camp for Flutter.
Yeah, Angela U. Yeah.
That one that you did in December.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah. The only thing that I really, or what I would like to see there is more testing, like test pump widgets and all that stuff. She really doesn't cover that so much, and it's a bit sad.
I would say this is for the beginner, so
Yeah, but a beginner should also test.
even if
I mean, we don't do that in our app, of course.
Yeah,
we would do that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
because it's always working.
Okay, so the second button is the delete button, and when we press this one, we want to delete a category.
There's another question from Rakshit in the meanwhile. He's asking, what is the best idea to navigate in our code? We have from, I think, 3 different possibilities in Flutter itself. It's with the generated routes, which is the one that I usually do, with the named parameter, where you push into the named specified places. And the other thing was directly to open up the material route directly, which I don't like so much, because it's always a lot of code and a lot of stuff. And if you want to use packages, I think, for example, now I say a package which I'm not so much a fan of is getX, and getX has the possibility to also navigate to you to the different places. Auto route. Okay, maybe I add that also into the FHQ down here. So how to navigate, or best way to navigate. What is auto route? Is it part of Flutter, or is it a package? Coding guy. Auto route. Never hear it. It's a package. What are you doing?
I will tell you later. So, what I try to do is to delete a category. And we used already the provider, and we have an app provider. I had a look here in our app provider, and here we have some methods. We are here in our Hive. No, sorry. We have here some methods, such as the add category or init the categories. The next method that we need is delete category.
Okay.
I would say.
Yep. Sounds good.
So I will do one. So box equation, we don't need it. So for that, I just call the provider.off. This is the first one which we initialized it, I think, beginning of our So this is the consumer, this is the app provider, and here we have the and here we have the app provider.
Flutterist really likes Riverpod, and he really tries to give all our apps the last step. I wanted to.
So in here, I want to see category. It's gonna be a method which I will create, and we need here the category model.
And in the meanwhile, I tried to search the videos that I added for the different navigation possibilities, but somehow we have too many videos. I think we should stop to do them. So many videos, it's crazy.
So this is gonna be the delete category, and I think, if I'm not wrong, just no, Max, what was the shortcut?
So what do you want to do?
So I write here method which I want to create it here in the app provider, and
so
the shortcut
you
is
can press the Windows key and enter.
and
Oh, that was wrong, sorry. Okay, let's try the Alt key and enter. Here, this one.
here we go.
And now you have the field create method. And with that, you go automatically to the where you created, and then you create a method for you.
So
why do you get, wow.
why do I get here type and I do something wrong?
I think you added twice. You added a type for it and the category model itself, but you want not to pass any a type inside. You really only want to push the category model.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah. So, and now you have to use Alt Enter again. Rakshit, I'm not sure with that, because if you would create only global providers, it's really tough, or not? Well, exactly, Milko, exactly. We are from Germany, so let's say return. I think that's the right name, or?
What was it?
Enter and return. I think the key is the same. Just because I'm from Germany and telling weird words everywhere.
So we have here the list of category model that we have, and what we want to do is to delete. Hope that we have some
remove.
Remove. Remove is category model.
Let's see if this works.
After that, we want to notify our listener.
But now we would only remove it from our intermediate list, right? Where in the between the list that we have currently in the middle layer, exactly where we access. But if we restart our application and read back from the database, we would still get all the categories.
So, which means we should also delete from our repository.
Exactly. So. And that's more important than just the other one.
So that means at first we should remove it from our
list. That's all right. And then on the other, the second line, what do we have to do else?
We want to go to our repo.
Exactly, because our repo will access the database, right?
Yeah. And here we want also, I would call it the same, right?
You don't have to call it, the method is already there.
Oh, we have it already?
Yeah, you created it already. But now you have to pass the ID inside.
And the ID gonna be our category model.
.id. Oh. Because you didn't define which type the category model is, so it doesn't know.
Here we should.
Fantastic. Alright, so we still have some run errors and most likely Dart errors. But... we don't have this information.
Yeah, we have it, but I think... Yeah, okay. So, the thing is that I will just cheat here. We had here the categories with the index.
Okay.
Because the provider which we initialized is a provider here.
Okay.
So I will go here. It's gonna be the.
So we use it one level higher.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay.
So and here what we want to do is I want to access to the categories. Now I want to have the index. Just in case I will not reload and
Flutter navigation, there it is.
Okay, so this is the nodal category that I would like to delete. So I will click delete and I get error. Nice.
The auto route, that is the navigation playlist.
To listen to a value exposed with provider from outside. So what's going on? This is because we have here context, and I have a listen, and I have to set it to false. So nice when not always the case.
You see, we are getting better
Yeah.
altogether. So I added inside of the document also the question for the navigation. I added there. Oh, perfect. It deletes.
So
I saw
it
that.
delete.
Can you press it again?
Now,
No, you should press delete twice, of course.
yeah, okay. So now we have the I click on the rise, and I'll delete it, and it's gone. And now if I click,
oh,
no, don't do that with me. But okay, so we should delete the category, and after that we should pop out of the alert box.
I don't know. Does it really delete something? If you restart the application, do we see again all of them? But yeah, you're right. I think we should really pop the alert as soon as we have deleted.
Maybe you're right.
The question is more that I have in my mind.
So we have
how is it possible that it understands immediately that it should delete
the next one? No
I would expect that it crashes, because where should it get now the information?
No one click on it.
Exactly.
Tap on it. So we have all other categories for now.
I really like Flutter. It's really challenging you. Hey Sanjay.
Also, you should run the delete
Welcome
button.
to the family. You
Like
guys
design,
synced?
right? You guys synced? Perfect. So, what is perfect? Nothing actually.
Welcome to our stream. What is perfect? Nothing actually.
So, before I do anything else,
yeah.
Navigator dot pop. Come and help me. Up like that. Up like that. Here. The pop. Here.
So it's
and I will do that. And now I will bring back our patient and delete it. Go out.
Perfect.
Nevertheless, I'm still curious. How does it gonna be replaced?
Could you restart the app first? I would really love to see if it really deleted also the category from the database, or if we get the data now back from the database, then it would be a shame. Then something didn't work that well.
So we had here our hive.
Can we see first the?
I know, but I thought it's.
So we have the noodles, so it is back again, right?
Oh, it's back.
So if we delete it again, you see.
Done, but
So what we do here is we're getting the categories.
You know why?
And if it's empty.
Because this is hard coded, I think.
Yeah, but if you read the lines underneath, you can see that we get first the categories from the database, from the repository.
Yeah.
And if it is empty, only then we really add every category model again.
Yeah.
So actually it should be empty, so nothing is hard-coded at the moment. So if we take a look into the app provider, you will see that the list of categories is getting loaded from the init categories part. So actually we should get the right data here. So most likely, what I assume is that the delete category did not well work.
Yeah, what we have is int ID and wait box ID.
Can you jump into the delete function? Does it return something if we are successful? No, unfortunately not. So the problem is, if it does not exist, nothing happens. So the question is, what is the key actually? You remember that I told you that we have maybe the problem that we currently save the ID, but we don't say that the ID is the key for that element.
Yeah.
Yes, this code will be available live on GitHub. You will find that down in the video description.
Was it the right link there, man?
Yeah. Let me look.
Normally it should be there. Sometimes you have so many different.
One.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
the right
Perfect.
One. Okay. So most likely the problem is that we don't have the right key here to really delete it. So it tries to delete it, but it doesn't work. So my idea that I would recommend you. Yeah, so we need something called UUID, and this is a package.
UUID, is this unique ID or what?
It's an absolute unique ID, exactly, that we can use to save the stuff in our database with a certain key that we can reuse later. And what I want to do is, the ID before we save an add category, right? With the add category part, we want to generate a UUID and set the new category ID to that ID so that we can later identify which category is the right one.
And why do you come to this idea? Does it mean that the ID that we at the moment have is not unique, or what do you want to use the UUID?
The problem is that I see at the moment, if we take a look into the save category part, I think this one returns us. What happened? Is that right? Yeah. So this add part gives us back an integer, right? And what I assume is, we get also an auto-incremented key. The problem is the ID inside of that category is not the integer that we get here. So this integer is an own ID that exists in behind, more or less, that is hidden somewhere. So if we would do that,
jump in the category model, the Hive will create automatically ID for us, right? Hive in the model.
What do you mean here in the category?
In the category model.
So we have this ID, but this is our field that we created.
Okay, and this is the Hive field. This will be incremented automatically. Or which one?
No.
I didn't understand.
Okay, so there is like an own...
You use your own ID in Hive?
I think we can do that. I'm just not sure. As I said, we would create, or that was my idea now, that we create an ID which is then unique. But I don't know how it works with the key. I think then we would have to put that here in the add category repo. Where are we? Here. So whenever we save that, we would have to add it with the key actually. So that would not be the case, but I think we can put it then. With put, we can pass the key inside, and then we put the value inside. And with that, we have more control over it.
Yeah,
so
and
maybe...
with add, we need just value. So what we can do maybe is, instead of having add, there's this one, put.
But as I said, now we need this unique key that we need to get from somewhere. And this unique key would be our UUID that we get from the package, UUID.
So I can't use the category model.id as key.
There is none. No, if you create a new category model, the user will not enter the ID for you, unfortunately. No. Maybe he will, but we just have to assume that he will not. Hey Ali, nice to see you in the Flutter community. Flutter Explain community. Okay, so we will use put, that's right. We go to our browser, pub.dev.
Perfect. And now we want to
search for the package UUID. So if you have never worked with UUID, which you clearly have not.
No, I've never seen
UUID creates you a unique identifier, and it's super unique. So it will use the RFC something, and it is just a generator for random numbers, actually. And the only thing is that for sure, there is a possibility that you hit the same key twice, but it is like 0.000%. So, and in our case, we would assume that it's like 0. Okay, so you can take this. Yep. So you can take this package with installing and install the package in our thing. So we are still here. It should be fairly easy.
This one.
Upspec-Gamma. Yes, exactly, because we will need it in our code. So pub.get.
Create some ID. So we can set the
every element in the universe.
UID, you can every element in the value.
Yep. It should be very, very rare that it is a very 0 point chance that you hit the same. I don't know how big the universe is, so I will not confirm that information, but he's very, very close to it, of course. So, but this is very easy to understand. So what we will use is this. Bless you. No?
Okay.
So we will use that v4, for example, which creates us a v4 random ID at the end. And this ID is now that what we will use in the future. Okay, so get over there, exactly. And here when we save the category, we want now to save it inside of the new category model that we want to have, right? And then...
So I will just jump that everyone knows what's that. This is which we create with the hive type.
Yep. And so now when we save it to the database, we want to set the ID here. So can we go to the save category, the provider who's calling that? Because this is now logic, right? We want to add this logic here. So we would add the categories, but before that we have to set this new UUID. So in the first line of here, so add category, the first line, that was a mistake. Now we call UUID and a big, it's a class, so UUID.
Okay.
And now dot. I think you have to initialize it, so brackets. Yeah. And then dot. Import, of course. And then v5, or what do we? No, just use v4. I think that's good enough.
Okay. Number of that is depends on what we want to use, right?
What do you want to do with it? Yeah, I think
v1
v1
is map string dynamic.
No, this is just an option if you want to pass something in. You will receive a string, as you can see on the right side.
Yeah, okay.
But you will get anyways a string. So the question is more how you want to create this UUID.
Okay.
Because the UUID can be, for example, in version 1, it is time-based. So the random number comes from a time stamp.
Yeah.
And the v4 is completely random. I think it takes into account like the static voice inside of the static sound that you get from the universe and such stuff. So it's completely random. It can be anything. Yeah. So we will use the v4 in our case. I think that's good enough.
Okay.
And I think v5, for example, is if you have a certain namespace and you want to take like this into account. So you see it down here.
Here is generate a v5.
Yeah, so you could say something like miracledesign.de or something, so our website, and create with that namespace a SHA-1 based key. There is a lot of technique behind. If you want to get into cryptography, this is very important for you.
Okay.
We keep with v4. It's a very long string with a lot of numbers and text inside, and we use that as a key.
Okay, and I can't say that this one to a key, alright? String.
Okay, so yeah, something like that. And then now in the next line, we say new category ID is that.
Okay. Category, like that. And ID. Which means actually.
So the problem is that our key is a string and we need an integer. So we have two options to change that. This is the wrong one because it can be anything, right? If we take a look into the documentation, you will see you receive a string with letters, with numbers, with anything. So we can't be sure that this is a string. So this will not work. We can't parse it. So if we can't change the key, what do we have to change?
We can change the ID,
Correct.
Type of the ID.
So let's do that. I think that's the easiest way.
So I will just jump ID, and I will set it to string.
Correct. Fantastic.
Correct. Now this is the right one, and now I would say instead of time, same thing.
There is an easier way to do that, and
Yeah?
because we are doing that at the moment, if you
Yeah.
click now on key on the bottom line, you
Yeah.
can press Alt return. Yep, Alt return or Alt enter, as a German would say. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh, that's very sad. Can you make a right click on that? And say refactor. And now we have here inline, and it would be Option Command N. Find that on a Windows keyboard. Go for it.
No, I don't.
So what we did now
we
is we
inlined it.
inlined it, exactly.
Okay, so now we have this one, and we can also use
Yes.
right?
So the categories add will just add it to our list that we use as an intermediate list, right? It will be automatically used as a list for our UI. And in save category, now we have to use the put, and we say we put the ID, the new category. So just jump into the save category.
Here we go.
And here the put is missing.
We have a category with ID, and we have
okay, so that means whenever we search now for the category ID inside of our list, we will find at least one.
At least one, yeah.
What will happen if the category ID is already existent?
So, I don't know.
So if you jump into put, what is happening? Testing. Good point.
Yeah. Okay, if we jump in the put, save the key value pair.
Okay, so hopefully it will just create a new one. Don't know. Okay. Anyhow, but for us, we put now every category inside. We have an ID for that. The stuff is saved, and we are ready to go.
Perfect. Now I will have a look here. What's going on here? Okay, we have a D.
Yeah. The problem is that the lead category will most likely ask, if you go with the mouse and hover above it, you will see
sign to the type integer. And now if we come in the category, that here we need so I will and now.
Yep.
But we have another problem, which is this one. And I would say here we changed the type of the ID.
Yeah.
Therefore, we should run again the build runner.
Exactly. Perfect.
Should I delete this one? No, it's gonna be overwritten, right? I hope. So I should look build. I need a command line.
That's all right. Yes, coding guy, I think it would be possible, but I think there are also some limitations. The problem is, yes, the date time now would be in nearly all situations good enough. But if you are taking into account to have a collision between two objects, and you have like a certain amount of chance for that, and I think datetime has a very big chance of that. I don't know why. I think you can read about that. Then you will get like matching things. So you could have the same ID for two objects in a certain low amount of possibilities. But the UUID is so unique that you need like, I don't know, you need to be hit by 1 billion delete conflict outputs. This is for the build runner, I assume, right?
Yeah. I have it, which was up runner.
I think you can just use arrow up. I think it should be there somewhere. Just press enter. Okay. So I assume. Okay, we don't have it anymore. Nope. Okay. Yep. So.
Sorry.
No worries. Just take your time. So we have Flutter pub run build runner and then the command.
Where is it?
Yeah. If you want to execute pub. Which is the Dart package, right?
Yeah.
So if the pub is the Dart package manager,
yeah,
then you will execute pub. But we have a Flutter project here.
Yeah.
So we have to use the wrapper Flutter to execute pub to run the build runner. And now we say build and add the delete conflict outputs behind of that.
So just copy and
And regarding to the Goldie guy, I just wanted to show you how you would do it in a real project. You would use the UUID just to make absolutely sure that you don't do something wrong with that. Especially if you work with a large amount of data, then something like that can happen.
I said I run those and so much in price there isn't a shortcut. Yeah.
What I already thought about would be a package for the build runner that just surrounds like these different commands that you can just say something like because there is a
build.
Yeah, or something like that you have a very easy build runner for that. But the problem with such stuff is that who really use it?
Yeah.
Clean build, yep. Oh yeah, alias is always a good option.
Yeah. Okay. So now all errors are gone.
Fantastic. So we can restart our application and take a look if everything works. And
Yeah.
I would think that it doesn't work.
Going here.
Oh. Trying to name existing method UUID in the provider.dart.
Initialize it in the okay.
I think it is. Could not resolve the package. Okay, so it seems that there is an import error. Can you jump into the app provider, please? And scroll up to the import. UUID.dart. Keep it. Sorry. Yeah, no. What you can do is you can go above the app provider and say something like UUID. Big space and then UUID. We want to create a variable equals, and now we create the UUID. Yep, and now just a semicolon. Yep, and now we use that everywhere. So instead of using this UUID, you use the upper one. Yep, and instead of having this variable now inside of the app provider, we will move that to our main.dart. No. That variable up there.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly, this one.
Okay, let's initialize it before we...
I just want to try if it works, but let's see. Maybe not the best option, but it could be. But why should that be a problem? I don't know.
Why should they bring it
above the main.dart? But that is a better option. No, don't do that. Doesn't feels right. Can you go to the package of?
Look at that.
Yeah, because you have the 3 dots up there, so you will add the imports multiple times. If you don't see that.
So, good to know that.
And the last one you can also get rid of. And we have to find the error why it happens. So if you go back to the app provider, there needs to be a better solution than this. Just click down here. So, and command Windows and V, or like that. Okay, also okay. So, and if you restart the application right now, do we still get the errors? Oh, I think with Milko we have now qualified customers. Now we have to make everything correctly. He's very knowledgeable, I think. Yeah, I thought so, but somehow... So we restarted the application, so can you take a look into the provider if it's working? But we still get a malformed message, something is wrong still.
So I just...
Hot reload, alright, so let's see. Ah, here we go.
Okay. Now? Yeah. Okay. Now I will hot maintenance. Back.
So, unfortunately not. And do you know why?
It come back.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't delete it from the database.
Yeah.
Because all of them have their own keys at the moment. The problem is...
All of them has its own key. Each category has its own key.
They don't have an ID set in their thing. Because we created this test data before we did this stuff. So what we need to do is now we need like some possibility to delete all categories once, to like flush the whole database,
Yeah.
so that we get rid of all the categories that we don't want. And when we initialize the database that we have already in our app provider, I think we have this inside of our Hive database. There we have this init database where we have to add the different IDs to it, and then it will work.
So I will just close it, delete the app from our.
This is an option. Yep, that should be an option.
Oops.
Because if you delete,
Which one is it?
But before you do, yeah, there is the uninstall. Yep. Always these iPhones use it. It's terrible.
It's horrible, honestly. Okay, so here we go. And now I tried.
No, don't start it yet.
Okay.
Because what we first want to do is we need to set for all the test data that we have a UUID, or we will never be able to delete them correctly.
So, I have this.
Yeah. So you see, we use that save category, and all of these categories need to get an ID now. So you remember that UUID and stuff?
Yeah.
You need it here.
Okay. So have a UID. I have an ID, and we can create maybe here.
Can you scroll down just for a second? So what do we do actually? We go through all the categories and then we save the category. So you can of course write it up there, but then you have to write it 4 times, right? ID, UUID, ID. But the better option is that we go down here where we have anyway our for each, and we could say for each element we set a UUID, and after that we just save it. That's the easier way.
Okay, so what we can do is go through the repo.
No, we are already in the loop, right? For each, we have that already.
We have the element. For each element, we want to set the UID.
The ID, UID, yeah, exactly.
So, which means I will go to element and go to ID, and now I will go to ID.
Yep.
Right?
The problem could be that we now have to import the other one that we can't recreate multiple times, but I don't know that.
We should just create one time.
Yeah, so you should use the other one that we have somewhere. So you will have that in small letters, UUID, and I think you don't have to recreate it. Yep.
Now we can go for the V4.
Fantastic.
Almost.
Cool. So now if you restart the application, you install everything. When we run through our init test data, we will receive these 5 categories here, and all of them will have an ID, which is v4, and then we can delete them because we have the ID in our read thing.
Yes.
And I think we have to start the application twice because I think we have some bugs inside there that the first time it doesn't really get the data. Or show the data correctly.
Okay. Don't have any category.
Exactly. So make a hot reload.
Now I will
think that's enough already. Yeah. So you can see now the state has changed and we have our data here. So I now try to delete the chicken.
But look at that. We don't have a noodle now. It's the noodle. I'm pretty sure that we have noodle here.
Oh, you're right. Oh. Interesting.
But let's start with.
We have beef. We have.
Oh no.
Okay.
It's reverse.
Is it? Is veggies the first?
We have veggies.
No, it's just random. Doesn't sort it at all.
Okay.
But good to know. Maybe we want to sort them in an order.
So, cancel more. Delete.
So okay. Can you delete all of them?
Yeah.
It takes some time, but delete all of them because I want to see if it really. Or delete all of them but one. So keep noodles and restart the application. So completely close it off and restart the application. Just to see if the Hive database is now really empty. And with that we have then a fewer amount of element. We have just one, so we can test it easiest. So, and I catch us some water.
Yeah,
do you want the water?
Right. Yeah, please.
Back in a second. You can maybe go through the 2 documents or.
So let's see what's going on. Perfect. Now every other categories are deleted, and we have just one. which is exactly what we wanted. So I will just again print always on top. So it works perfectly, Max. Now we have the node. Okay. What do we want to do next? I will still wait a little bit for Max, but I would say now we can add a new category and we can delete a category. Next step, which we should do, is add a recipe page. For now, we have add recipe screen. Just here in our screen, we have add recipe screen, and when I click on this button, we can give a name. I don't know, chicken. Now we have just one category, so I will just now allow this one and go this, and we can submit it, but nothing will happen for it. I would say the next thing we should do is add this. So everything happened here. So I will just close one. And here we have a button, which is this one. No worries, Max. Submit button.
Did I miss anything?
The category worked fine, perfectly. We can delete and we can add.
So even if you created a category and deleted it again, it worked? It's just another test that we can do.
We can do that, but and now we have something like chicken. I will just.
Okay, so it's there. So can we delete it? The chicken bread? And it's deleted, okay.
And delete it, and just to check it, and it's gone.
That's super promising, right? So
yeah.
It seems to work. So we have done something. And before we go the next step, I would highly recommend to commit, because it looks like we've really did something, right? So we finished off that delete button. We have now an alert box that is ready to go. And before we go to the next topic, it would be great to have that already in our.
Is it our commit here? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the commit.
Can you add multiple categories? Can you add multiple categories
at once?
Once, or do you mean I should create more than just one category? I want to see the order.
Oh, good point.
It's a good point.
Good point.
So I will just make that a little bit bigger. One. Here we have a noodle. I'm going for rice. One. Now I'm going for noodle and submit this one. So for okay, sorry guys, I have now just 2-time noodle, but I would assume that the last noodle that I create is in the last place. So yeah, quote man. Okay, what we have: chicken, rice, beef, and now here we go.
Okay, so the order is which one?
The order is when we create a new one, it's gonna be the last element in our list.
Okay, and then if we restart the application, because then we read it from the database, what is the order then? That's still the right order? No, it's changing, right?
No, it's changed. Actually, I think it's shuffle or something. I don't know. It's randomly.
No, it is randomly, exactly, and by the ID. I assume that somehow the ID is a level somewhere, so it is ordered by this ID. It doesn't get shuffled, it's always just in the order that the ID is there. So my recommendation is just order it by something. So for example, we can order it by name.
Yeah.
So I would just do that so that we are sure that it is always the same order at the end.
Okay. Which means in the UI, now in the provider. Yep. Provider we and here we have read categories.
Yeah.
Repo, and when we will get it.
Yep, your emulator is too big, or our camera is too big, one of them. Yeah, and I think the coding guy is right with the alphabetically order. I like that.
Okay. We have here read categories, and here we have box. This is the method which we call
To get all the categories from the
from the database, from the
database, exactly.
So here we have the box, the value. We will create a list, and I can order it here, right?
You could, but ordering is actually something that you do intentionally. So it is logic, right? And the repository is just for getting the data to you.
So
and how you sort it is someone else's job, right?
Yeah.
So I would do that somewhere where it's used.
This is the app provider.
And Mirko, I'm thinking you're right. We should really take that into account. Maybe also
test.
know that we don't add the twice the same category.
Yeah.
So maybe we can take that later into account. That we search first in the list that's already existent, and then like form validate and don't allow that.
So here is the place where we use our method. And now here I think
yeah, why not?
Here we have a empty list. Here we will read the category and here order it.
We can do that one line underneath, just to make sure that we first read, and because it is in avoid, so we have access to it.
Okay.
And now here our famous sort option comes into play.
So now we can go through each category.
I think you don't even need that. I think the sort is smart enough. It could be. We can. No, it can't be.
I think so. I think, yeah, Max.
The problem is you don't only have strings. You have a lot of different parts.
Yeah, and now it's gonna be sorted by what? Don't know. Or we should, I think, set it to sort by name, ID, or whatever. Or I would say
exactly. So we have to get all the elements.
So it's gonna be a category, and what we want to do is okay. So we need to I don't know, right?
So you can call the first one current.
A and B.
Or the first one I would call current, and the B one is the next.
Okay. Current and now here we want to current, go to name and compare it maybe.
But the name is a string, right?
It's a string. We can't do that. Is alphabet.
But it seems to work, right? Compared to
the other one.
I think we can try that. So never done that.
Two, and now we are going to X, and here we're going to the next.
And yes, Abby, I think we can also pass that down as an option. But then what happens if we don't want to have that order? And then we would have to pass it down through our logic, which is the provider, till the repository. So we would send the information from the sorting through 3 different layers, and now we have only 2 different layers that are affected. Has it worked?
Yeah.
So B, N...
The beef is B, N, and R.
Looks good, or?
And the last one is...
So the perfect one, yeah. Which is the last one. Restart the app.
We'll restart the app. B, N, R, and D.
Cool. So that works fantastically, right?
That worked fantastic. Now, I would say finally.
Do we have anything else missed? What do you think, guys? Is there something? So we can delete now, we can cancel now, we can create one, we can delete them all.
Them, we get in the right order. We can prevent to add 2 times same category.
That would be maybe a good thing.
It's also good before we...
Yeah. It would be a pull request of hell if someone was creating that, because it's not specified. It has 3 different parts that we are working on. But I really like the idea that we also can tackle that before we commit everything.
Okay. So this is add category. The add category we get Sorry guys, I like always to close. Okay. Not in the add category, we are in the dashboard screen. In the dashboard screen, wait, if you add a new category, you are not sorting, you just sort in the init. Yeah, we get it.
So if you create a new one with AAA, where does it get added?
So, if I create a new...
That's the wrong one. That comes next week.
Create the one, A, and sub.
It's getting at the end appended.
Okay. So, which means... But if I restart it, it's gonna be sorted, right?
Correct, because the init method is taking care of the sorting at the moment, right?
No.
What? Sure. Oh, okay.
Good.
Maybe it starts with the small letters at the moment, so it's not really alphabetically sorted. Because we don't know how the compare method is actually working, right? So it could be because it is a big letter at the beginning, it's getting before, and so on and so forth.
It's stored by the values. Okay. So
the best thing would be that we make everything to uppercase and then sort it.
After first. Okay. I should.
Notifications everywhere.
Yeah, okay. At the moment we have it in the init.
Absolutely. Which is okay, which is fair enough. I mean, whenever we get the data, we would directly want to sort them. The only problem is that we have at the moment that whenever we add a category, after that we have saved it, we also want to sort again. That would be one option. Not the best one, but it is an option.
Okay.
So,
but if we want to do it all of them in one place, we should add the category in the right place, right? So we should sort it and add it.
Yes, we will sort it, but we will do that in a second.
Okay.
So first of all, we start with the worst problem, which is that the sorting is actually not correct, right? So we would sort them by uppercase, or lowercase, both of them. So inside of our sort method, we have current.name.
Current.name, and what we can do is go here to uppercase, and now compare it.
Exactly, and the next name.
I should do it also here. Uppercase, and like that, I will sort this one. Now I think if we just...
No idea. Mirko, we could do the same here. We could create like a utilities class, which has then our sort function, which has that stuff in place. So does it now work? Yeah,
this
looks
is
good.
work now.
Yeah.
Now everything will be compared in
So, but it will not change the actual value. So, and because we need that now in two places, right? In the init categories, and we will need it up there in the add categories. Yeah. So after we have finished all of these add categories, we would write exactly the same code block. It would look exactly the same. So what can we do if we do writing exactly twice the same?
What I'm thinking is, I can create a method for that and use in both places. Yeah, but what I'm thinking, if we edit in a sort order, then we add it to the category. If we add it here in the right order, the init category will be called also in the right order, so we don't have to use it 2 times.
No, this is not how it works. The thing is, if you save it in the database, it is a random order. We don't know how it is saved. So that is the problem. We need to get it sorted somewhere.
Okay, fair enough. Here we go. I will create a new function out of that.
Command Shift F. M is it, I think?
No.
It's Windows, Alt and M on this computer. And now you have to select everything first again. So and now again, come on. Yep,
M.
fantastic.
So
Sort categories by name, or please, because then it is for sure.
Refactor this one. We have here code sorted
by name. What is?
Oh, come on, guys. This one.
Yep. Categories. There is an O missing in the third. The third E is wrong. Yeah.
Categories.
Yep, looks better.
Not me if I do it.
The driver has always the problem. So if he has to write something, everyone is watching.
Here we go. So
difficult.
8 categories, save category.
Yeah. I would do it on the bottom. So whenever we have saved it, I would do it after both have saved, and after that I would sort it. It makes not so much difference, but now we have actually done that, and we can make this method private because we only use it in this place now. The only thing is, if we would create that utility class like Mirko is telling us, then we would have like a sort categories by name function, for example, and we would pass down an array of categories because we want to have an immutable function then, because we never want to change actually parameters and give it back, and we would return a list of categories again, which is sorted. Okay, it seems that I don't explain that well.
No, it's fine, Max. I think everyone else got it. But
no, I don't think so, because that is not so easy. You see,
go for it. I'm listening.
Okay, so make it private first, and then we can tell later more. Okay, so as you can see, if we jump into the sort categories by name, we have here the problem that we mutate a list as specific, right? But the problem is, if we have a second class for that, we would not have access to the categories. So we would have to pass it into the method.
Yeah.
And if we would do that, we would mutate somewhere else's state or somewhere else the stuff. And this would lead to side effects, and we don't know which one they are. So maybe someone passes any list inside and we get like a completely weird ordered list.
Okay.
And to avoid that, we would create a new list inside of that method and return this new list.
Okay, so I can put this one in a new list.
Yeah, but because we don't have this utils class now, I don't know if you want to create it, but it's fair enough for this part, because we don't only sort here in that place.
We should prevent to get side.
But I think for the future, it's just good to know. All right. So that looks good. How's the app working? Is everything fine now?
Nice to see you too here.
Always good to have you.
So, out. And
click on.
Just delete.
Oh yeah, you can do that. We have now so many functionalities. It's getting slowly a real app. That's fantastic.
And this one. Now add.
So start with AAA, right? All right. And now it's starting to get sorted immediately. And the last one is also where it needs to be. And I think now all of them are working fine.
So when we edit, it's in the right order, and when we get them, they are also in. Perfect.
Perfect, exactly.
Oh, no,
such a beautiful animation. Do you see how the hero animation is doing its job? Fantastic.
Yeah. Not the best example for learning how hero animation works.
It's the best example. It works amazing.
That's right. Okay, perfect. We can add, we can delete, we add and get the right order or categories. Is anything else? Right. I think we can also promote. What you could also do is make categories sorted list, so you don't need to call sort every time.
That is a fantastic solution if this works. Cool. I don't know how that works. Categories as sorted list. Is the sorted list? I have never worked with the sorted list, to be honest. In Dart. That would be a cool idea. Where do we find the sorted list? The sorted list is a package, is that right?
Look here. Is it Dart, right?
Yes. Yeah, so it would be exactly, this is what we have done, right? This is the method sort, but sorted list seems to be like that package up here. And this sorted list gives us the, if you scroll down, you will see here we can create this sorted list, and then we specify how we want to sort,
like
sort,
method,
and after that we add the elements like we want to, and the sorted list is automatically sorting that for us. That would be a cool solution. I don't know.
What I'm thinking is actually inside of this sort package is the sort method which we use it.
Exactly. Right? Underneath, under the hood, it will automatically sort the stuff, but it will sort it whenever we delete something, whenever we add something, and so on and so forth. I don't know. It is actually a very interesting package, I think.
Okay, guys, your choice. Should we implement this one also, or I can just? No, I don't.
Stay tuned, everything is fine. I think we can keep it like it is at the moment. We don't need it, but it's very important for everyone to know that there's something like that, because if someone is coming into the same problem like we are, we can really easily, or he can really easily avoid this problem that we do.
Yeah. And this is one time in place, and every time you can just use.
Correct.
Perfect.
So
we wanted also to speak about something else, Max. What we said.
We can speak about the next topic whenever we have committed our changes. I think that is very important.
But before we do that, should we also manage that you can add 2 times the same category?
That sounds like a good option. Yep.
Okay. We have here the add category. So I should at first figure out what's going, where should be added. Just for my understanding.
Yep, so, do that.
Here we have add category screen. And the user write here the name.
Yep.
So if the name is already exists, the user should get some error messages.
So is sort really an expensive operation is the first question, because it is less amount of elements. We just know that it's very small subset of elements, because in the worst case someone has like 40 or 50 categories. So I think it's at the moment very fine, especially because we sort the elements before we create the different widgets, because that would be even more expensive, I think.
I don't know, is it really heavy? I don't know.
It is expensive, of course, because you have to go over each element, and every element is compared with another element. So what you call that is you will go through all the elements. Which is,
iterate through each of them.
Yeah, so it is pretty expensive, because you have, in the worst case, you have 1 million data sets, and then it will take a lot of time. Then you should make a compute and everything, and there are also better options, I think.
Okay. How we should approach if we have a long list?
I would do that with indices at that area and work then on the database. I think that is more performant at the end.
What is indices?
You would index all the elements by a specific index, and then you can sort them by these indexes that are specified. I think there is a whole big tutorial around how you can improve that. I don't even know how the good old stuff is working there. So I think you have to read there a bit more. I can't answer that right away, how you would do that with a very big, large subset of elements. But if you have a solution, it would be fantastic if you share it with us.
Okay, we're back. The problem. Here, when the user add a new rename and is submitted, we want to prevent that we add 2 times the same name. So at the moment we have here the add category.
Okay.
It's called, right?
It gets somewhere called, I hope.
The add category provider. And here we are a provider. Yeah. Okay. This add category provider is actually the right one. And here how I can present it.
Priority queue. Okay, so I can't say so much to it. It sounds very interesting, but it is most likely very complex at the beginning to just start right away with it. So sorry. Okay, so save category. We want to save our category.
But just which means we should check the list of categories, and if the name is already exists, user should get an alert or something like that.
Okay. So if we jump into the save category, where is that one called?
Here in the UI.
So this happens when you click on the submit button, right?
Yeah.
And then we get we receive a saved successful, and then we navigate pop. So we go back to our last screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how can we improve here the saved successful in that way that we read first the elements?
From the database?
Not really from the database. We can just take the intermediate table that we have and look through all of them and check if we have there already a place.
Database while typing.
Oh, also a very cool idea.
You can override a category.
That's also a good option, yep. So many options.
So which means when the user is typing here, we can just show different elements in the list and show them. Oh.
So you have to check against the name, right? So
yeah.
You have multiple ways here. The only thing is, to make it very easier to start with, you will only check the category list inside of the provider that we have already, if that contains the name that we have at the moment.
Yeah.
So we start here, we have our provider, we call that, right? Let's clean that a bit up because it looks freaking ugly. So fantastic. So now we have our provider that we call, and we jump into save category. And here inside we check if that save is successful or not.
Yes.
Okay. So here we have the category model, which we create with our name that we created, right? And now, before we save everything, we have to make a check in front of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here we want to have access to the, I think, to the provider, to the app provider, because we need the list of elements.
The category list.
Yeah.
Okay. Which means we want to have if, and here we want to go to the app provider.
Let us first get or receive the list of elements. So we want to have first a list of categories.
Okay, so I want to have a model.
Category. This one comes from the provider of app provider.
App provider.
Careful, we have to do it like down here, right? We want to have access to the app provider here. The keyboard.
Okay, so here we want to provider off.
Context, yep.
Context. Here we want provider.
Yep. We don't want to listen to it.
Here we want to listen false again. And we want to get the
exactly. Good.
Yeah. This is our list of categories.
Yeah. So, and now we want to check inside of categories.
So we want to check.
No if. For now, no if.
Okay.
You see, code guy gave you a hint.
I didn't. Okay.
Check category list contains category name. It's not completely full. I think it doesn't work like that, but he gives you the hint. So you take your categories, which is the category list. And now we search for contains.
And here, if this is the category name, right? Have here. names.
Okay. So, and if we do so, we have now, as he writes, we have to override the equal method. So if we jump into the category model, Command B, and now you try to go on top of that. Yep, make 2 lines, just that we have a bit more space, and then start with Command. It is Windows and Shift A.
Windows and Shift
A. And now write override. Yep. Enter. And do you see that equals part here?
Yeah.
So, and now you can override that. So you have the element now where you are, which can be this.name. So this is your element. And now you compare it to other.name. Equals other.name.
Other.
Yep, because you see it's a method that receives the other element. I don't know if that... Yeah, that was correct. I don't think so. But we will see. I don't know, to be frank.
Just a return type of doesn't. Okay. Right.
It could be that that the Hive is automatically using it, but we will see that.
Okay, I don't know that. Which means here in this method, we will check if case.
So to be honest, there is a lot about this equals operator.
Okay.
Because what happens in this equals operator is it compares the whole class. So if you have 2 category models, like category model 1 and category model 2, you have 2 instances of it. With that equal operator, you compare these 2 elements. Okay, so whenever you say now something like, okay, category model 1 equals category model 2, then it will execute this operator.
Okay, and in this, all the attributes from these both classes will be compared.
You can do that, but as you do it at the moment, you don't do that. You only compare these 2.
Okay.
Which is fair enough.
Yeah. Perfect. Now we compare them. Next. Go.
The questions that you have answered, I will try to integrate them in one of the streams that I create the next few times. I don't know when the next stream will be, to be honest. I wanted to do one this evening, but I don't know how much time or energy I have still left. So most likely on Saturday, then I would go to your answer then, or your question. I think the last question I already answered.
Question, document that you create. Okay, guys.
So let's try it if it's working.
And now it should work already.
I think so.
Okay. Now I try to create an...
Yep, for example, beef.
Okay, doesn't submit. Means...
So you get an error. What is happening here? In the current form, you can compare all objects with the category. So you will get an error in the instance of... Yeah, okay. So where's the error? Scroll up, you see here the number of the error. So receive a beef, tried calling name. So unhandled as exception, class string has no instance getter name. Hey Nirma, nice to see you around. But what is this now? Unhandled exception, class string has no instance getter name. It could be that Hive is the problem here in that case.
Probably the override method.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay.
String has no instance of getter name. Okay. So somewhere we try. You see, we have the category model down here. Yeah, but we just... So we get this other inside? That looks very weird. Could you say that this other has to be... we get a string. Of course we get a string. That if you take a look into the compare method, what we did is we passed the string of the category names inside. The other will be a string. It will be the category name. So you can say here is a string, we will not access the name here because we get the string already.
Okay, it's itself. Other.
So the problem is that this one is now red because we can't do that. You get a dynamic, so you can remove the string again because you can compare everything with that element. But
we can just
I think it will be a problem there. So that's, but in the future, I don't know how that will behave in the future.
Let's pass object name.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
So what we want to do is if we go back where we executed the whole thing. So this compare method where we called it. Here, I think here it is.
Yeah.
So we pass down the category name. It would be better if we pass down the category model that we create down here.
Okay. Yeah, instead of name we want to have the category model.
So
you
you
can just swipe
yep.
them.
That is Windows, Shift and down, I think. Yep. And then you pass, instead of the category name, you give category inside. Alright, and now you have to go back to that equals equals method, and we have to say, because it's dynamic, you have to say which type is coming in.
Right.
And here we have
now
other dot name again, because now we pass an element inside.
Element.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's dynamic, you don't see it, you have to write it yourself.
Or I can set the other is from the category model.
You cannot do that.
No?
It is dynamic. It is defined because of the override. It is defined. Thank you, from the parent that it is a dynamic part here.
Okay.
So you see, together we are strong. The whole community helps us. We get the struggle. So let's see if we can add a beef now. And we can, unfortunately.
Yeah. But you should make an is category model in the method.
Yep, that makes sense. Okay. So what you can do is above here, we can say if other is the word is. Yep. Other space is space category model. Big because you have the type. And now we return the name equals name, and else we would throw an error most likely, or I would do that actually. Yes, the images coming from an internet API, and so they. Yep. And else we return false.
Yeah.
Cool. And the good thing is now, if you go here inside and you delete name, for example, because with that we have made it type safe. So if you say now dot, you get all the elements that you get, because Dart is so intelligent and knows which part you have here inside.
I just don't. Maybe someone else also in chat that doesn't know that. With the is, I said the other is from category model. Is it the same, just like if I would write it like that?
No. Because with that you would try to initialize a variable, which is the name other, and because you don't have here a parameter or anything, this is more like you really get a true or false back, so a boolean from that. So you really checked the thing, yes.
Okay, and if something else, it's gonna be
false. Correct.
Perfect. Checks for type, I think. Yeah.
Correct. So, what happens with the beef? We get now two beefs.
Wait, I will. One beef.
You can delete, yeah.
Most likely I will again add one beef.
But why did it work not? Because we still return in the, yeah.
So I will submit this one.
And it still will work. So if you go to our provider where we add the stuff, I think it's add category provider. So here now you check against if this one contains that one. But you don't care what you do with that information.
Absolutely right. If this is
what returns contains?
True or false, or?
Correct. I think so, at least.
So
yes, you get a boolean. So, and with that,
So-
you know now that your category is contained already. So you have
Yeah.
that already. So what do you do?
So what I can do, I can check it here,
Mhm.
like this. That if this contains this,
Mhm.
we'll get error.
Return false.
Return.
So that would be enough for now. So
And in other case,
yeah.
and
The only thing is what we can do is now popping up a show dialog,
Yeah, we should
showing
do that,
an
I
alert
think.
box. Then what do we do if we have a to do?
we write to do that.
Just
Okay,
keep
I
it with it.
understand it.
Yep. You understand it. Maybe in 2 so in 2 weeks we are sitting here and then
What was that? Why
oh, a
did you
toast
do
is a
that?
good idea, but we will do that in the future. I think for
Okay.
now this is actually more than safe. We are not able to save twice the same thing. At least you can try it, but I think it shouldn't be possible.
Okay, so go for another.
Oh, I think we have the context where we can even try that. So instead of having this to do, we do that as last actual part here today.
Return an alert box or something.
Can you access the snack bar? So press enter snack bar in big letters. Snack bar dot of context. Or no, how was it? A snack bar equals. We have to create that one, and then we have to get the scaffold somehow. Was it scaffold off? Can you do one line below and then say something like scaffold dot off context?
Oops.
Yep, and then dot show snack bar. And now you pass
here.
the new snack bar inside that you created above.
So I can just create
We want to have loot
Yes.
boxes in our app,
this one here.
which has then some specific recipes. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that.
I miss you guys. What?
Okay, don't worry. So you add
Okay.
inside of the snack bar a content, which is the text that we want to display.
Yeah. Okay. And
Content is a widget. You
Yeah.
can have everything inside, but we want to have a text, right?
Yeah.
And say something
This
exists already. Good, fair enough. So and now we can remove the to do, I think. And
That. Okay.
yeah, it's just
So-
what I had in my mind. So if the context that we have here contains really a scaffold, then we will receive now the snack bar.
Yeah.
If not, we get an error.
What's going on in the chat, man? You are just laughing with guys.
Yeah,
here,
Flutterist
and
had the great idea to integrate app purchases in this app. And then Mirko comes to the idea to create loot boxes. And if you don't know the concept of loot boxes, in games there is like, you can buy a loot box and you get stuff out of it, like for cosmetics or something. So you can get beautiful food from it. So that doesn't work because we don't have a real snack bar. We don't have a real scaffold here. That is the problem. If you remember, we created our own scaffold surrounding it.
Yeah,
So we don't really have a scaffold somewhere.
it's a shame.
Yeah.
But
And I agree with you, Mirko. I think we should get this whole scaffold stuff outside of here. We return false, right? So what we can do is taking all that scaffold stuff. And you go there where we call the save category method.
free model nuts. Free. Oh.
And here, down here, we know now if successful. And we have also an if not.
If
So,
not.
so
So
else.
otherwise it's else part.
Yeah. But still, we don't have a scaffold here, so we don't have any chance, I think. So if you scroll up, I think we don't have any scaffold here in the... Oh, we have a scaffold.
We have.
Where is it?
We have.
So why don't we see the error message? Do we have to pass something down in the scaffold? Hey Shankara, nice to see you around. So we come to the place, but we don't show the error message. That's interesting.
What I'm curious is if we don't just see that, or if it doesn't exist really.
I can't tell you that. The question is more, if you go into the snack bar, do we have to pass something inside? What do we have here? The key, background color, duration. Creates a snack bar, the content argument must be not null. We have that. Okay. No. That. But what we can do is maybe create the snack bar and after that... No.
Actually, right.
Is there an asynchronous method here that shows snack bar? Not that it really matter, but can you jump into the show snack bar? No, it's not.
We need always the scaffold, right? For the snack bar?
Yeah, actually we need it. Okay. Anyhow, I would keep it with the to-do for now, and I would say we finish off the stream today.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry for now, but we have the to-do in place.
This app? You can do so much. Flutter is one step for a question. You can do, that was my idea. It should be useful.
Yeah, it's getting useful. We can just create and delete categories. But in the future it will be able to add recipes, and I hope we can come to that point the next time. And then we will show inside of our categories, when we click on them, we will see the different parts.
Just kidding. Yeah, I know. I'm also just... No.
We have to pass. That could be. I'm not sure. We have to try that next time.
If I just do something else, we can add, right?
Yes.
So if...
And also here we could maybe show the snack bar.
And
for
if
the future.
I go just beef, can do it.
Perfect.
This is exactly what we wanted to have.
All right.
Guys, we're almost over our time.
We are over our time. Yep, it was a fantastic session today. We had a lot of viewers, a lot of good people who are working with us. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you for
fantastic.
your support and hint and everything.
Yeah. We are getting better and better, I think. It would be fantastic if you can give us more suggestions in the comments and also in the new document that we created.
And I promise you, Flutterists, next time I will create some rounded border and rounded button.
Don't promise something because I have to do it the next time.
It's not my round, Max. Take care of that.
Fantastic.
So, amazing, guys. Thank you very much.
Take care until the next time.
And stay safe.
Yep.
See you.
See ya.